right, everybody, back with a brand new Cabral Concept. Great to have you here today, episode 3100 of the Cabral Concept. Today, we're going to be going over the top 3 nutritional supplements for a healthy heart. Why is this so important? Because having a healthy heart, especially when you get into your 40s, 50s, and beyond, is the number one reason why you live well into your 80s, 90s, and past 100, or unfortunately, you become a statistic somewhere in your later 60s or mid 70s. That is because it is the number one cause of mortality around the world. When we look at this for all industrialized countries, and it has been for quite a number of years now, the heart, unfortunately, takes the most inflammation, it gets weaker, it gets affected by heavy metals and all sorts of other issues. So we've explained those in the show before. What I want to go over here today, though, is 3 simple nutritional supplements. You may already be doing them already. I just want to share with you the scientific evidence behind them, share with you the links to those studies. You can always share them with family members or clients, and also give you the recommended doses. Now, again, I can't provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. If you're on pharmaceuticals, if you're on medications, work with your PCP, talk with your PCP. But of course, in my opinion, work for the underlying root cause. There's always an underlying root cause. Find your deficiencies, find your toxicities, increase those deficiencies, get your vitamins, minerals, omegas back up, decrease your toxicities, heavy metals, gut issues, lipopolysaccharides, viral issues, autoimmune, etc. Repair that body at any age. It really can happen, and it happens every day to people around the world. I just want you to be one of those people as well. All right, let's dive right into it. The very first one that a lot of people don't know about is calcification of the arteries. So everybody always thinks of heart disease because we've been told by our doctors, right? Oh, if you have high cholesterol, you may be dealing with plaque or atherosclerosis or other issues. It's possible, definitely a possibility, no doubt about that. I'm not denying it, not saying that you shouldn't have your total cholesterol, your LDL levels, your total cholesterol, the HDL, your ApoB100 or your B100. Like there's a lot that you can look at, no doubt about it, right? VLDL, et cetera, et cetera. And we run those panels. We talk about those in High Performance Health and we recommend them. So I'm not saying that at all. But when you get to be about 50 years old, or 55 at least, I would look at running a calcium score. And if your calcium score is above 100, we need to take action. We've seen people overall healthy, calcium scores above 300. That's when we need to take immediate action, right? There's an issue here. So what do? Well, again, conventional medicine will never share this with you. But there is one vitamin, one nutrient. I talked about it on the Friday review. I told you it would be on my full podcast here today. Vitamin K2. So not K1, that's in all of these Costco and CVS and Rite Aid type multivitamins, right? That's not what you want. You need to go with a good functional medicine-based brand that's going to have vitamin K2 in there. Now, will it also have K1? Probably. And there's nothing wrong with that because K1 is part of a multivitamin. You can't actually say that you're just putting in K2 because the government, the FDA, doesn't consider K2 part of an actual vitamin K1, right? So here's what we do. Typically, you're going to get K1 in your daily activated multivitamin or your daily nutritional support, but there should also be K2. And so that's a great thing. And why K2? Like, why does that matter? Check out these statistics. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal. Again, your doctor will never share this with you. And it's not because they don't want to help you. They certainly do. They just have no idea. They literally have no idea. And they've been taught through medical school that supplements just create expensive urine. That's their like, ha-ha joke. But again, it's horrible because they're not helping people, which they took that Hippocratic oath to do so. Okay, so here we go. Not only was there no further arterial calcium accumulation, so when you took a higher dose of vitamin K1 or K2, not only was there no further arterial accumulation, there was a 37% reduction of previously accumulated arterial calcification after 6 weeks. 6 weeks with vitamin K. That's it. 6 weeks. And after 12 weeks, so in 6 weeks, calcium score, calcification goes down by more than a third. I mean, that's unheard of. Like, this is better than pharmaceuticals, right? But after 12 weeks, there was a 53% reduction in accumulated arterial calcium deposits. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable. 53% in 12 weeks, right? 12 weeks. Now, could it be even greater? going on? Yeah, absolutely. Should this be the only one you're using for calcification of the arteries? No, I'll share the other two in just a moment. But how much is a reasonable amount of vitamin K2 today? Because, or per day? You have to be careful because vitamin K, vitamin D, vitamin A, and vitamin E, there are only four, all right? A, D, E, and K. Those are fat-soluble vitamins, those four. You can overdo them. You can overdo vitamin A, so what do? Use beta-carotene. Can't really overdo beta-carotene as much. It's the natural form. Vitamin D, how much should you use? Well, you want to use a vitamin D3 formula only, right? Not those fortified foods with vitamin D2. So vitamin D3, typically up to 5,000 IUs per day, which is up to 100 micrograms per day for an individual. Basically the same amount you would get from a normal day in the sun, all right? Okay, vitamin E, it can vary. We use what are called all vitamin E of the whole family, and there are 8, tocopherols and tocotrienols. So that's what we use, so it's the natural formula as well. And then for vitamin K, K1, but always have to have the K2, because the K2 is what's going to allow for that absorption. And why does this work? Vitamin K2, along with a couple other nutrients, I need to name them in a moment, and I will, which are, I can't get to them yet because that'll give it all away. That's what pulls calcium out of the blood and back into your bones or to the tissues where it belongs. So that's why it works so well. And again, this is natural nutritional biochemistry, but just not taught in medical school. They don't go through this. So how much to use? 60 to 150 micrograms per day. Now remember, grams are the biggest, then it goes milligrams, then it goes micrograms. So we're still talking about a small amount, but it's the right amount for vitamin K2. So in the daily nutritional support, you're getting about 60 micrograms of vitamin K1, and then another 45 micrograms or so of K2. So you're all set. But what if you have this issue and you want to add more? Totally get it. The vitamin D3 with K2 adds another 10 micrograms per drop. So if you want 4,000 IUs or 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, now you're adding another 40 to 50 micrograms of K2. And lo and behold, you're at what? 150 micrograms. That wasn't an accident. Everything we do is based on the science. You can find all the things we use in our practice at stephencabral.com/shop. You can just search vitamin D3 K2 or just type in K2 in the search box. Remember, you don't have to use any Equalife products, but the goal is to show you what true functional medicine companies are doing. Look at the labels, and then you can choose whatever brand you want that works for you. All right. Next up, next nutritional supplement for a healthy heart. So by using this particular mineral, the odds of hypertension, which is tension on the heart and the entire vascular system, decrease by 69% lower odds, and 42% lower odds of increasing a high calcium accumulation score compared to those with the lowest levels of this. And what is that mineral? Magnesium. So the higher your serum magnesium, the lower your chances of hypertension, high blood pressure, not good for the heart, not good for the arteries, not good for the capillaries, not good for your eyesight, not good for anything, right? And the better the serum magnesium, the lower the calcium. Why? Simple, straightforward. Vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, K2, pulls that calcium out of the bloodstream, puts it back where it belongs. That is why it's so dangerous when medical doctors are prescribing, mainly for women, 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of calcium every day without also recommending magnesium, K2, D3. Yeah, that's why, again, I should not be prescribing pharmaceuticals, and I don't. It's out of my scope of practice, nor would I. I have no interest in doing that. But medical doctors should not be doing the work of integrative health practitioners or doctors of naturopathy. Like it should just never happen. Everybody has their PCP for life-saving issues. Everybody has their integrative health practitioner. That's really how it should be. Okay, so how much magnesium do you want to use? Now, this is a little bit more subtle. Most people are going to get a lot of their magnesium through food. That's really what you should do, okay? But almost everyone is deficient because of high levels of stress, because of poor absorption, et cetera, et cetera. So we recommend a good quality magnesium. We use something called full spectrum magnesium, which uses essentially the 3 best absorbable forms of magnesium. We don't know which one's going to work best for you. That's why we add 3, that trifecta of 3 different forms that will be absorbed for every individual. We actually switched from using magnesium glycinate in the, let's just say around 2010 or so, to this form of 3 different forms of magnesium, which now is the best for everybody. We don't have to just decide like, oh, this is the best form, because magnesium glycinate is great, but if you can mix it with other forms, now you know it's going to be absorbed by pretty much the majority of people, as in 100%. So how much? Typically on top of your food, meaning like in addition to your great diet, 120 to 360 milligrams per day. That's 1 to 3 capsules per day of magnesium, or 1 scoop of the calming magnesium. So if you want to use more, I would usually run a lab test like the minerals and metals test, or I would work with your integrative health practitioner or healthcare practitioner to find out if you need more. But that's typically what we do. 1 at lunch, 2 at dinner. And then oftentimes people are using more. Honestly, if they can't sleep, if they can't calm their mind, if they're racing heart rate, we'll use some calming magnesium before bed. All right. All right, the last one. So we've got K2. We know it has to come with D3 as well, all of those. Magnesium, without a doubt. The last one, fish oil, EPA and DHA. I can't say it enough. And it's so wild that people will always just do their own. I don't want to go on a tangent. I do that a lot. Go by what actually works in clinical practice. Go by what is shown in the research, not someone's opinion. I think it's really important. So I love looking at the research, and I love chatting with my PhD-paced colleagues. And then I also love sharing what's worked in our clinical practice for the past 2 decades and well over 250,000 people, well over 500,000 labs of data. Like, it's one of the largest clinical studies we have going on in the world on what works and what doesn't work from a natural health perspective. So do we have all the answers? No, but like, we work really hard to have as many of them as possible for our clients. Like, that's the goal. So just let me share with you more of this. So I'm going to pull it all together, how much you actually need, et cetera. But this is just straight from PubMed. I'm going to share the links with you. Dietary omega-3s from fatty fish, such as salmon, herring, and sardines, are not only the building blocks of cellular membranes, but are also precursors to eicosanoids, or signaling molecules in the body. Whereas the metabolites from omega-6s are generally pro-inflammatory, like thromboxanes, series 2 prostaglandins, and series 4 leukotrienes. The metabolites from marine omega-3s, when they say marine, they mean fish, are generally anti-inflammatory. Additionally, several benefits have been noted with marine omega-3s, meaning fish oil consumption, including reductions in triglycerides, lowered heart rate and blood pressure, improved left ventricle ejection fraction, that's your heart, which sometimes becomes weaker as you get older, reduced inflammatory cytokines, and anti-thrombotic and anti-arrhythmic effects. That's not me saying it. Just giving a shout out to the FDA. That's not me saying it. That is direct from PubMed-based studies. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of the studies just on this one thing. Now, there are tens of thousands of studies on fish oil, right? So like, it's not that this is the only study out there. So in summary, they said, fish oil may reduce atherosclerosis by a number of these factors. Okay, so that means essentially heart disease. Now, how much fish oil? The jury's out. It's all over the map. Safe dosage, 1.5 to 3 grams per day. We use 2 grams in our practice, pretty much right in the middle, on the lower end. And we do recommend, if you can, finding good wild caught fish, and eating that a few times a week as well. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Go with a higher EPA than DHA omega-3, ideally a 2-to-1 ratio of EPA to DHA, or even a little higher for best results. So that's that. Again, the daily omega-3 support we use, the full spectrum magnesium and the vitamin D3 K2 are all at stephencabral.com/shop. Check out the labels, see the dosage we use, exactly what it is. Check out our third-party testing right on the website. You don't have to purchase there, but at least know exactly what you're looking at. One more thing I wanted to share with you. Conventional medicine knows all this. Pharmaceuticals know all this. That's why they get so upset with nutritional supplements, because they can't patent it. And they can't charge then your health insurance company ridiculous amounts of money. But they were able to do that with their fish oil. And I use that in air quotes if you're watching this on video. And what they found was their drug Valsepa, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, reduced the risk of heart attack and stroke by 26% in people at high risk for those serious problems. Now, that's even the high risk category. What do? They basically just patented a version of EPA fish oil. The same one that I talk about all the time, the same one that's been proven to help you naturally. Again, I can't give you medical advice, so I just don't feel like I would ever need a prescription for fish oil when I can get a nice, clean version that's tested for heavy metals and all these things more naturally. And for their dosage, it's basically a 0.5 gram per capsule. So what are you getting? About 1 gram or so per capsule. So depending on how many you're taking. So anyway, I don't want people to think that somehow conventional medicine and pharmaceuticals figured out a better way than fish, right, from nature to help you with these heart issues. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to link it all up today at StephenCabral.com/3100. Hopefully the show was helpful. I can't link up any nutritional supplements, as I said before. You can just go to StephenCabral.com/shop for all the at-home lab testing, all of the products, everything we use in our virtual functional medicine practice. And then, of course, you do what works best for you. Do feel free to share this show, though, if it can serve anyone you know. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.